Welcome back to Reason and Theology, Michael Lofton Show. We're going to be talking about some breaking news here that is just now coming out, giving us some insights into potentially the motive behind the Charlie Kirk assassination, the recent tragedy. We're finding out a little bit more about the man who turned himself in and confessed to the murder and assassination, Tyler Robinson. Headlines are now reporting Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, lived with a transgender partner. Now, if that is true, that would give us some potential insight into the motive for this horrible tragedy. Of course, Charlie Kirk was known for speaking on a wide range of subjects, and he certainly addressed this issue. We've been seeing an increase in shootings from transgenders attacking people. We saw one where a Catholic school and a Catholic mass with children in it was recently attacked. There's been a number of these lately. And a lot of people were suspecting that this may be the motive in this particular case with Charlie. And it looks like things are starting to point in that direction. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look through the informations that is available on this so far. But if you want to stay up to date with more information about this as it comes, and also other news items and theological issues, all kinds of stuff, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I go live. I can go live out of nowhere, so you need to hit that bell so you know when it is. Okay, let me share my screen and you should be able to see it right around now. One news outlet is now starting to post. This is New York Post. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, lived with transgender partner, and they're going to disclose the source here. Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson, who again turned himself in yesterday because his father urged him to do so, was living with a transgender partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female. A law enforcement source confirmed to the Post on Saturday, as well as to other news outlets. And of course, the family itself appears to be conservative, but the family themselves, they say that lately it looks like Tyler had been going to the left and had become more increasingly progressive in a very troubling and worrisome way. So they say here that individual, who has yet to be identified by the authorities, is now fully cooperating with the FBI on its investigation into the fatal shooting of the conservative activist, the source added. The relationship was first reported by Fox News' Brooke Singman. Text messages and other communications that the transgender individual traded with Robinson, age 22, helped the feds nab the accused assassin. You remember, we were finding out from the presser that he was having conversations with others at the time of, before and at the time of and after the murder. And he was saying, hey, over here is where the rifle is. I left it over here. And he was communicating with somebody. And by the way, we remember there was a guy who looked like he was trying to take the fall for this. And it turns out he wasn't obviously the assassin. Many people are wondering, was he working with Tyler, trying to help him get away? There's a lot of questions there. But some are saying that this is tying into that question of conversations that Tyler was having with somebody about the weapon at the time. Federal and state authorities revealed during a press release on Friday that a roommate cooperating with their investigation revealed communications from a contact named Tyler that described bullet casings similar to those found at the scene and discussed the need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point. And they initially told us it was on Discord. Now, Discord came out and said, oh, no, there was no such thing going on our platform. That also, there's a big question mark then on that, because the authorities were saying it was on Discord and they were getting screenshots of it from the roommate. But Discord says, no, 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 none of that took place on our server. Okay. Kirk, 31, was struck in the neck by a single bullet shortly after being posed a question on his American Comeback College speaking tour about transgender mass shooters. Sadly, that horrible tragedy happened while he was answering a question about transgender mass shootings, which is why a lot of people thought, okay, maybe the shooter was transgender or was sympathetic to that. Quote, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years, end quote, asked attendee Hunter Kozak. And he was in the middle of answering that question when that fatal shot was fired. And I think we're starting to maybe get some answers here. Take a look at what Brooke is saying. She's the one who initially disclosed this information with Fox News. Exclusive Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with his transgender partner, sources tell me. The individual who is a male transgender transitioning to a female is fully cooperating with the FBI. Sources tell me that the FBI had texts and other communications between Robinson and the individual that helped FBI authorities solidify that Robinson was indeed the shooter. Others are also beginning to report on this. Breaking, the roommate of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin has been identified as a 22-year-old. This is, according to them, allegedly Lance Twiggs, according to the Daily Mail. Okay? This is breaking news. The development comes as Fox and the New York Post say Tyler Robinson was living with a transgender partner. It's unclear at the moment if Twiggs is the transgender partner that Fox and the New York Post are referring to. However, Twiggs' grandfather refused to deny the report. So there's still a question mark on this. We're not certain yet. But this is what major accounts are reporting. I don't want to comment on that. I'm not sure what his situation is exactly right now, the grandfather, Jerry, said. After he was with the police, he's been at his house, and there's no way for us to contact him other than going over there. Twiggs reportedly handed over incriminating text messages to the FBI, according to the outlet. So still alleged. We don't know for sure, but this is what Daily Mail and others are beginning to report. Tyler Robinson's roommate, who tipped off FBI, is identified as family, refused to deny transgender motive for Charlie Kirk assassination. You can see a picture of the alleged roommate there and here. If true, that certainly tells us what most likely the motives were in this horrible tragedy. New York Post, again, on their Twitter, posting Charlie Kirk shooter Tyler Robinson lived with transgender partner, sources are saying. Another large account, breaking, Charlie Kirk assassin lived with transgender partner. FBI confirmed identity through texts. Tyler Robinson, the accused assassin of Charlie Kirk, lived with a transgender partner, according to Fox News. The partner, described as a male transitioning to a female, is fully cooperating with the FBI. FBI officials used text and communications between Robinson and the partner to confirm he was the shooter. Another account, it was just revealed that he is gay and was dating a transgender man who was transitioning into a woman. The media is going to try really hard to hide this. Well, if it is true, then it means we are starting to see certainly a trend here, which is what I think everyone feared. And again, it comes on the heels of what we had saw recently with the Catholic Church, with children there attending at Mass being tragically shot up by a transgender shooter. Another one says, breaking Fox News reporter Brooke Sigmund reveals Charlie Kirk assassin lived with transgender boyfriend. So this is going all over. This is breaking viral everywhere. The Pope, by the way, Pope Leo the 14th offered his condolences. He says, and this source notes, meeting with the U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, Brian Birch. Today, Pope Leo the 14th discussed the assassination of Charlie Kirk, underscored that political differences can never be resolved with violence, and told the ambassador that he was praying for Charlie's widow and children. Amen. Pray for them. They're going through a really tough time. However, we're seeing that this event is sparking a lot of people going into the streets and showing their support for Charlie Kirk. Here you have South Koreans chanting, "We are Charlie Kirk." Can't make this up. Take a look. And it goes on, there's more to it, but they're very clearly showing their support for Charlie Kirk all the way in South Korea. And, there's also a lot of people right now gathered in London. Some are saying millions. Now, I have some sources saying this was already scheduled for them to protest situations with mass migration, but in that crowd are plenty of people also showing their support for Charlie Kirk, they say. So something's happening. And I'm seeing people saying they feel like that situation, the tragedy with Charlie Kirk, pushed society through some kind of barrier. And my hope is that this tragedy will bring about a transformation in society for the better. Because the situation has been bad. It has been toxic. It's getting horrible. I hope some good comes from this to transform our society, because we desperately, desperately need it. People are now starting to turn their attention to God and God's love and God's forgiveness due to this tragedy. May God guide them and help them, bring them to the truth, and fix our society through this. May there be some silver lining in this tragedy. God, in his infinite wisdom, allows tragedies to happen, and we sometimes don't always know why, but we know it works for good. We know God brings good from it. Maybe we're beginning to see that. Maybe this is a wake-up call for our society. I sure hope so. I'll let you know if there's any more developments. I'm sure there are going to be plenty to this situation, most likely even just within a few hours. So if you want to stay tuned to what is going on, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I go live. I will keep you all up to date with any more developments to this situation. Thank you so much. Been a member for 4 months here, Dicebrenger. I pray this causes Pope Leo to reconsider. Are you referring to the gun control issue? I remember after the transgender shooting in a Catholic church, he came out and tried to use it for, gun control conversation and pushed for that. And, that might be what you're referencing there. Okay. The number is rising. As far as the people there in England, yeah, I'm seeing different reports of different numbers, but I've seen some estimate 3 million. It's a lot. I mean, there's a plethora of videos out there. I've posted a few already where there's just a sea of people in London. Um, I hope that those people there use this tragedy for good, to convert society, to make it better, to bring healing to the world, to bring God to the world, to bring forgiveness and love. I hope desperately that's what people use this for. Everybody, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. And great to see you, Father Mark Goring, there in the chat. Love your show. And he says, thanks for the good work, Michael. Thank you so much, Father. That means a lot. I appreciate you. Everybody, again, hit that sub button. See you soon. God bless.